Thanks for joining us. If you have blocks or something to use as blocks, they will be useful. If you don't have them, totally fine. Not completely necessary, just a nice little booster. And if you'd like to have a blanket, we're going to be doing a little bit of a little extra kneeling today. If you need a little extra cushioning, or for Shavasana if you'd like on top. And then once you have everything in place, start laying down on your back. And for today, keep the knees bent so that your feet are flat. And then reach your arms behind you. And then grab for opposite elbows so that you're making this little rectangle like picture frame above your head. And then just notice if you're kind of hunching the shoulders up toward your ears, can you just let them fall down so that the shoulder blades move farther down the back. And then let your eyes close. Let the gaze soften. Start to feel your breath start to drop in a little bit deeper into your body. Start to feel your belly lifting as you inhale. Your belly button tuning back in towards your spine as you exhale. And on your next breath out, pause on empty. See if you can press that last little bit of stale air out of your lungs. And then take a deep, full breath in. Open your mouth, exhale it out. Again, full breath in. Open your mouth, gentle exhale out. And then full breath in. This time pause on full all the way at the top of the breath. See if you can sip in one more little drink of fresh air. And then keeping your mouth closed, exhale out the nose. And then undo the clasp of your elbows. Reach your arms long behind you and hook your thumbs. And then try to pull the thumbs apart. Imagine you have like one of those paper finger traps on. You're trying to pull your thumbs apart, but you're also reaching your fingers back. So you're getting longer and wider. And then release the bind of the fingers. Grab the opposite elbow of the one you started with. So it's probably the one that feels a little bit awkward. And come back to that slow, easy, deliberate Ujjayi breath in through the nose, out through the nose. And then again, reach the arms up. And then again, opposite clasp of the thumbs, the awkward one. Reach your fingertips far behind you as you try to pull the thumbs apart, like a good morning stretch. And then let that all go. You can let the hands slide down to your sides. Let's just take an easy glute bridge here. Press down into your heels, lift your hips. And kind of let yourself move side to side. Roll the shoulders out. Press into the backs of the shoulders, press into the feet. And then slowly come down. Bring the knees into your chest. And either rock side to side or back and forth across the spine or a little bit of both. And then eventually you'll roll yourself up onto all fours. We'll start in a tabletop with the knees right underneath the hips and the hands underneath the shoulders. And then you're going to start to walk the hands out farther onto the mat. And then see if rather than shifting your hips backwards or forwards, you can kind of just let the chest descend down towards the ground. So maybe the elbows hit the ground, maybe they're resting. And then walk the fingers a little bit farther forward so now the forearms lift and the elbows do lift. And then let the right armpit drop towards the mat. You can kind of drag the left hand in a little bit so you've got some asymmetry in the arms. Right arm's a little bit longer. And then your whole rib cage is kind of rotating to the left. And then I like to almost imagine I'm trying to pull the ground towards me with my right fingertips, my finger pads. And then switch. You'll pull the right hand in a little bit, crawl the left hand out. Get that hollowing out of the armpit, and then let the armpit sink down to the left as the right rib cage kind of rotates to the right. Let the neck be easy. You can look slightly up towards the ceiling. And then turn this into kind of a little bit of a pedaling. So you'll switch the right elbow, descends a little bit as the armpit hollows, twisting to the left, and then switching, reaching the left arm, sinking to the left. And take this on your own. You can let the hips move with you a little bit. So it's kind of like a side-to-side cat-cow. And then walk the hands back in underneath your shoulders. And now we'll take the classic cat-cow. So as you inhale, belly button comes down, chest lifts. And then exhale, press into your hands. Hollow out, drop the head for cat. And again, inhale, come forward. Really let the chest pull forward. The arms stay strong. And then exhale, scoop everything up. One more time together. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, round. And then inhale, come forward, cow, tuck the toes. And then exhale, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Send the sit bones up into the air behind you. Think of making a diagonal from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Diagonal from your pinky fingers to your outer hips. And you can really play into the length of the diagonal by keeping a little bit of bend in the knees. If you are tight in the legs, so you are rounding through the back here, kind of tilting the pelvis forward to lift this sit bones up. And then even with the bend in your knees, you can play with pedaling out the feet, letting the hips move side to side. And then on the next breath or two, come back to a still down dog. Then come up onto your toes and start to roll forward to a plank. So you'll start at the base of your spine. Keep the chin tucked to your chest. Eventually you'll roll forward to a plank. Then bring your knees down to the mat. Sit your hips back to your heels. Keep the toes tucked for a child pose. And then pull yourself forward back onto all fours. You're in a pretty long cow. Exhale up and back, downward facing dog. A couple more times like this, start to build a little bit of a flow, round forward to a plank. Knees down to mat, hips to heels, child's pose. Look forward, pull to cow. Exhale, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, come forward to plank. Knees to mat, hips to heels, child's pose, and this time pause. Bring your forehead flat at the back of the neck. Stay nice and long so the chin is drawn in towards the throat. And then maybe you play with crawling your fingertips a little bit farther and kind of getting underneath the armpit similarly to how we did just a few moments ago. So that the chest is kind of descending down towards the mat, even a little bit more than normal, a little bit of more space opening up in the upper back. And then gently lift your head, look forward. Toes should still be tucked here. Take a breath in, and then from here you're going to spring straight forward to a plank and hold. Use the light and energy out through the heels, out through the crown of the head. Think of wrapping the triceps back so that the eyes of the elbows spin forward a little bit. And then you can use your knees or you can keep them lifted, but you'll stay in one piece to lower yourself all the way down to the mat. And then once you get flat, bring your hands out wide, wider than the mat, so the elbows will bend. They point straight up towards the ceiling. Press into the tops of the feet, press into the pads of your fingers. As you inhale to ripple up, lengthening the arms to any amount. So maybe slight, maybe you get them long all the way. And then lower back down. Twice more, inhale, roll up. Exhale, ripple back down. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And then stay down. You're going to extend your left arm out to the left. Bring your right hand to frame your right rib cage. And then you'll bring your feet a little bit closer together. Bend your right knee. Lift the right knee off of the ground. And then use your right hand, push off to roll to the outer edge of the left side of your body. Think of pointing your right knee up towards the ceiling. It's not going to point directly up, but that's just the direction. As though you could kind of dip your toe, your big toe in water. And you're kind of getting a little scorpion action here. Maybe you do get the entirety of the foot to press down. And then pull yourself back onto your belly. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Right arm goes out long. Left hand frames your rib cage. You'll bend the left knee. Pick the left knee up off of the ground. Push into the left hand to rotate to your right. Pointing the left knee this time up towards the ceiling. And then roll yourself back onto your belly. Hands frame the rib cage. And take an inhale, back bend of your choice, low cobra, medium cobra, up dog. And then press up and back, downward facing dog. And then in down dog, step the feet closer together. Take an inhale, reach the right leg long behind you. Keep the hips square to start. So you may need quite a bit of a bend in your left knee to really rotate the right hip down, to rotate the right pinky toe down so the hips are square. And take an inhale, get longer as you reach through the right heel. And then exhale, pull your right knee in towards your nose, get round. Shift the shoulders forward. And then inhale, reach up and back, three-legged down dog. And remember, keep that bend in the left knee if you need it. Exhale, pull the knee in towards your nose round. One more time, inhale, reach up and back. This time, let the hip open. So now the right toes will turn way out to the right. You can bend the knee. Let the weight of the shin kind of yawn the hip open. And then just make sure that your rib cage is not opening up to the right with your legs. See if you can put a little more pressure into the right hand so the upper body stays square. And then lengthen the right leg out, square off the hips. Pull the right foot in towards your nose and then step it forward. We'll take just a simple twist. Reach the right arm up. You could have your left hand on a block. If you have a block, just for a little, kind of a little boost so that you can really get the spine long, pulling the chest, pulling the crown of the head rather, away from your back heel, pulling the knees apart. Take one more breath in here. And then bring your right hand down inside of your right foot. Bring your back knee down. You're going to heel toe the right foot out to the right so the toes will point away from you. They'll lightly come off of the mat. And then you can let your hips sink forward, allowing your hands to come forward just a little bit to make a little more space. And then take some hip circles here, or something that has a circular quality to it. It doesn't have to be a clean circle. You can make a figure 8 or like a C shape. Just kind of get into the front of the hip, the inside of the hip, the psoas, the outer hip. Give it kind of like, I just think of it like flossing, like you're flossing your teeth, you're getting into the deep, dark corners of things. And then put the hands flat once again. And then take an inhale, reach the right arm up, almost up and away. And then see if you can play into the opposition of your arms here to create a little more space. So I think of pushing the ground away with my left hand, and then reaching, like I'm reaching away from my left hand with my right hand, and then almost leaning back while still keeping the chest pulling forward. One more inhale here. And then return the right hand to the ground. Heel toe the right foot in just slightly so that you have just a little more control. If your back toes were untucked, tuck them, and then lift the back knee, lift the left knee. And now you're going to start to move your right foot to the middle of the mat, the long edge. So you'll heel toe the right foot out to the right. You'll roll onto the outside edge of the left foot. So you're using that knife blade of the foot as leverage. And then reach the right arm up. You're in a supported side plank. And then keep this left shoulder wrapping down and back. Push into the left hand for stability. And then with your next breath in, reach the top arm forward, 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 like someone's grabbing your wrist. And then start to sweep the arms back as you let the hips descend. So the left shoulder now will come up towards the ear. You could press the hip down on the ground, you could keep it lifted. And then push into your feet, push into your left hand, come back to that lifted reach, bump the hips up. And then let the hips lower and descend, reach back. Again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, come back down. Let's do one more time. Inhale, reach up. This time, turn the right toes forward, and then step back to a plank. Then bring your knees down to the mat. And then pause here, so you're in a modified plank. And then you're going to let the belly button sink down. Let the butt point up towards the ceiling, so it's like you're in a cow pose. You're in a kind of wide cow pose. You may need to adjust your hands. The belly button is sinking down, but the chest is lifted. And then just check out what your elbows are doing. So you don't want them pointing out to the side. You want to rack them back. And now we're going to do some cow pose push-ups that are going to lead into knees, chest, chin. So we're going to start really small. Your elbows are pointing back, your butt's in the air. Belly button is reaching down below you. And you're going to bend your elbows just so you lower about a third of the way down. So your gaze is forward, your chest is forward, and then push back up, arms lengthen. Let's do that again. You're going to lower 1/3 of the way down, bending the elbows, then pointing straight back, and then press back up. Okay, so this time we're going to go like 2/3 of the way down. So bending a little bit more, the butt is still reaching behind me, up and behind me. Press up. So now this time we're going to lower all the way down to chest and chin and stay. So the chin is on the ground, the butt is in the air, chest is on the ground. Imagine if you were a puppy and you had a tail, it would be kind of curling up and away from you. And then from here, you'll ripple forward into low cobra. Pull the shoulders back, squeeze them together. And then exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Take an inhale, lift the left leg. Keeping a bend in the right knee so that you can square the hips off. Rotate that left pinky toe down. Take an inhale, reach through the heel. Exhale, pull your knee into your nose, shoulders come forward as you round. And then inhale up and back, three-legged downward facing dog. Pull the knee forward, shift forward. And then reach up and back, downward facing dog, this time opening the hip to the left, pushing into your left hand. And then lengthen the legs square off. Pull the left foot forward, this time it steps in between your hands. And we'll take just an easy twist. Right hand plants down as the left arm reaches up. Push into that left, push into the right hand, lift up and away with the left. Chest is open, crown of head is pulling away from the back heel. Take one more breath in. And with the breath out, let the left hand come down inside of the left foot. Bring the left knee down. Move the left foot out to the left. And let the hands shift forward slightly so that the hips can descend forward. You could also absolutely use blocks here underneath the hands. I like to come up onto the fingertips so that I can really pull the chest up and kind of lift a little more control over the weight that I'm putting into the hips. And start with those circular motions or semicircular motions or oval or infinity shapes. Get into the hips and wag them side to side, forward and back. And then come back through center. Make sure that the left toes are pointed out to the left, that you have enough space. Right hand will plant down. I like it a little wider than the mat. And then peel the left arm up. Now keep pushing into that right hand. And then keep the left hand pulling away from the right hand. Right, it's easy to find the stretch in the top arm because it's reaching. But can you find still a deliberate kind of lengthening of the bottom arm? Take one more breath in. And then return the left hand down to the mat. Turn the toes forward and in slightly. Tuck the right toes if they were untucked. Lift the right knee. And then start to heel toe this left foot to the middle of the long edge of the left side of your mat. Roll onto the knife edge of your right foot. Push into it to lift the bottom hip. And then reach left arm up for your modified side plank. Then take a big sweeping reach with the top arm overhead, bicep by the ear. And then start to reach the arm back as the hips descend. Hips can touch the ground or they can stay lifted. And then push down to lift back and up. And then slowly start to descend down as you reach. And then again, lift up and over. One more time, come down. And then come all the way up, hand comes down to the mat. Turn those left toes forward slightly and step back to a plank. And bring your knees down to the mat. Let the belly button sink. We're going to do one more round of these little cow push-ups. Chest goes forward, elbows wrap back, so the triceps wrap back. And bend down 1/3 of the way. Come back up. About 2/3 of the way. Come back up. And then lower down, chest and chin. Roll forward, low cobra. And then exhale up and back, downward facing dog. And start to walk the feet forward. Come into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Let the knees stay soft. The feet are right underneath your hips. Let the head go so the neck is loose. There's nothing held. And then grab for opposite elbows like you did when you were on your back. So now the head is dangling right in the middle of the picture frame you're creating around your head. Let yourself sway side to side. Let it be an easy sway so that the hips move counter to the upper body. And then switch your elbow grip. And then let the arms go entirely. Tuck your chin to your chest. Starting at the very base of your spine, start to stack the vertebrae. One clicks right in on top of the other, let the arms dangle. So maybe they're just kind of barely grazing your legs. And it's right about here for me where things start to get really kind of tight and wonky, so move through whatever your wonky part is with care, with mindfulness, with awareness of what you feel. And then the last thing to happen is your chin peeling up off of your chest. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. Lean up and back, little back bend. And then let the hands circle down to your sides. Set the feet up so that they're no wider than inner hips width. You could step them together if that feels better. And then bend your knees. You'll hook your thumbs, right thumb over left. So you've got that little finger trap situation with the hands here. And then take an inhale, press down through your feet, lengthen the legs, kick up to reach back. And then exhale, soften the knees, fold forward, fingertips come to the mat. Take an inhale, find a long spine, and take a big step back with the right foot. Then bring your right knee down. You could have a blanket here under the right knee because we're going to be coming back to this position quite a bit. Untuck the right toes. Hook your thumbs again, right thumb over left, and then reach up to roll open for Anjaneyasana, our crescent lunge. And then continue the action of pulling the fingers apart, get wider across the chest, and then lift your chest. Think of scooping your hips up. And then to create even a little more security, think of pulling the left heel towards the right knee towards the left heel. Take one more inhale, reach up and back. And then exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Then take an inhale, come forward to a plank. Roll through the spine. Then exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, ripple forward, low cobra. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. And take an inhale, reach the right leg long behind you. Hips are square. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Bring the left knee down, untuck your toes, hook right thumb over left. Inhale, reach up, roll open. Then exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. This time you'll step forward to fold over the legs. Hook right thumb over left. Inhale, kick down through the feet, bend the knees to reach up. And then exhale, hands to your sides. We'll do the same thing left side. Get your feet nice and steady underneath you. Bend the knees and hook left thumb over right. Kick down through the feet, lengthen the legs to reach up and back. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, take a big step back with the left foot. Bring the back knee down, untuck the toes. Left thumb hooks over right. Inhale, reach up, roll open. Pull the thumbs apart. Lift your hip bones up like you're scooping them up into your belly. Pull that right heel back towards left knee pushes forward towards right heel. Then take an inhale, reach up and back just even a millimeter further. And then hands come down. Step back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, come forward to a plank. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, come forward, low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, reach the left leg long behind you, toes spiraling down. Step the left foot forward in between your hands, back knee down. Hook left thumb over right, inhale, reach up, roll open. Then exhale, hands come down, step forward to fold over the legs. Hook left thumb over right, inhale, reach up. Push up through the feet. Exhale, Tadasana. We'll move through that one more time, right side, left side. Bend the knees, hook right thumb over left. Inhale, reach up, roll open, pull the thumbs apart. Exhale, soften, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, long spine, step the right foot back. Bring the right knee down and tuck the toes. Hook right thumb over left to reach up. Exhale, hands down, step back, down dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, down dog, press up and back. Inhale, reach the right leg up. Exhale, step right foot in between the hands, bring left knee down and tuck toes, hook right thumb over left, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down, step forward, fold over the leg. Then knees, hook thumbs, inhale, reach up, kick up. Exhale, Tadasana. Again, bend knees, hook left thumb over right, inhale, reach up. Lift the chest, roll it open. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, long spine, step the left foot back. Bring the left knee down, untuck the toes, left thumb hooks over right to reach up. Lift up the chest. Pull the thumbs apart. Exhale, hands down, step back, down dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, press up and back. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step left foot forward. Bring back knee down and tuck toes, hook thumbs, inhale, reach up. And then exhale, hands down, step forward, fold over the legs. Bend the knees, hook left thumb over right, inhale, reach up, stand up. And then exhale, Tadasana, hands to your sides. Take a moment here, let the eyes close if you'd like. Let the dust of that settle. Come back to your controlled, conscious breathing if it's maybe gotten away from you. Feel your heart beating. Notice any of the heat that's built in your body. And then separate your feet as wide as the mat. Your toes may kind of creep themselves off of the mat onto your floor. And then take an inhale, reach your arms up. Pull your tailbone underneath you. And then start to sink down, letting the hips descend behind you for your yogi squat. And so you could take a block or two underneath you if you'd like here. It's a particularly good option if you find that the heels don't want to stay planted. And then pause here with your hands at your chest, your thumbs at your sternum. And then you can use your elbows to gently influence your knees out. And then let's release the left hand down, like the left hand is reaching for something on a diagonal from your left big toe. And then you're gonna peel the right arm open. So you need a little bit extra pressure in this left hand to really open across the chest. So you're pushing your forearm into your knee, your thigh, but also press your thigh back into your forearm so that there's some resistance. And you could take a bind here if you'd like. And then unwind, reach the arms back up. Pull the prayer down your midline. We'll do the same thing right side, so you'll release the right hand down like you're reaching for something just forward of your right big toe. And then peel the left arm open. Creating a deliberate pressure in that right arm. Your right leg pushes back into it so that you have enough security to really pull yourself open. Again, if you wanted to take a bind, you could wrap the left arm behind you, rolling the front of the left shoulder down on that. And then come back through center. Bring your hands down to the mat, lift the hips slightly, parallel your feet. If you got a block, just scoot it out of the way. And move the feet right back underneath your hips. Take an inhale, find a long spine. And then make your way back to a down dog. You could take another vinyasa with chaturanga, which we haven't done yet, or you could take another knees, chest, chin. You could just step back to down dog. And step the feet together once you've arrived in down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Let's open the hip once again. Bend the knee. Lengthen the leg out, square off the hips. And then pull the right foot forward. Come back to that low runner's lunge. And then bring the back knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. A little different this time. Let's grab for opposite elbows. Bring the right hand on top. And then start to lean your head back into the little picture frame shelf you've created here. And then see if you can do this without jutting the chin forward. So that's the upper back that's bending, the chest that's lifting to create the back bend, rather than just forcing yourself to feel like you're doing the back bend and making it very hard to breathe. Take one more breath in here. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Good place for blocks underneath your hands here. Take an inhale, pull the chest forward. And then as you exhale, start to lengthen through the front leg. Let your head softly fold forward. And then again, inhale, come forward. Bend the knee. Exhale, lengthen through the leg. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lengthen. And this time you'll pivot your right toes to the left, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Turn the toes out slightly. And then bend the left knee. Let the hips sink to the left. Keep strongly reaching through the right foot. And then shift. Bend the right knee. Ooh, that was a good hip pop. Lengthen through the left leg. And then one more time to the left. Now this time as you come to the right, come up to a warrior two. Right toes turn out to the right. Left foot stays facing the left, to the outer edge of the left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Then flip the front palm. Inhale to reach up and back. Imagine the wrist once again being pulled towards what's behind you. Your right knee bending and pressing towards whatever's in front of you. So light in those left fingers. And then come into a supported side angle. Bring the right elbow to the right thigh. Sweep the left arm down and around so that the bicep comes by the ear. And when it does, you'll rotate the left lung up towards the ceiling. Pull the shoulder down and back so you can press into the right elbow to create a little more space between the shoulder and the ear. And then pull the right hip farther underneath you, like it was trying to wrap backwards towards your left heel, rather than kind of bumping out to the right. Take one more breath in here. And then come back to warrior two. We'll take another reverse warrior. Inhale, reach up and back. And then this time bring the hands down to frame the front foot, not to frame the front foot, to come inside of the right foot. Heel toe the right foot to the right, bring the right knee down. We're back in this kind of low, wide lizard that we were in before. So you could stay here if this felt like a very big stretch for you. Stay here, maybe play with making those circular motions at the hips. Otherwise, you'll start to shift the hips backwards a little bit, rather than letting them descend forward. And you'll come down onto your forearms. So now you're rounding through the spine. Let the head really drip here. Let the shoulder blades pull apart so they're moving towards your armpits. And then stay pressing into all 5 of your right toes. Notice if you're shifting on to just the pinky toe, can you really anchor down? And then come up onto your hands. Let the hips come forward once again. And then you'll bend the left knee, like you're trying to kick your own butt. Reach your right arm forward. Turn your palm up. I like to visualize like a hors d'oeuvre tray here. And then you're gonna circle that tray. You're serving it around. Maybe you stop here and just reach for the right heel, playing into that length in the collarbone. Maybe you can grab the left foot. And then if you have the left foot, kick the foot into the hand rather than pulling it in, letting the upper back bend slightly, letting the chest pull forward. And then slowly let the foot go without slingshotting it. You'll circle the right foot back. Heel to the right foot in slightly. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. And then we're going to come into a side plank. So you could take the modified version. Your right foot is set up to heel toe itself to the middle of the mat. Or you could step the feet back, keeping the feet staggered or unstaggered. And then play with finding length, not just from crown of head to heels, but from bottom arm to top arm. Push into that left hand. Then reach the right arm forward, you're back in a plank. And then make your way back to a down dog, however you'd like. Take another knees, chest, chin. Step the feet together. Take an inhale, reach the left leg long behind you, and then open the hip, let it peel open. Lengthen the leg out, square off the hip, pull the left foot forward. Bring the right knee down. Then reach the arms up, bend the elbows, make that square picture frame over your head. This time the left hand is on top. And then leaning the back of your head into the bottom of the top part of this picture frame so that you have leverage to lift your chest, but being careful not to just crank the chin. Keeping that kind of suctioning of the legs so that you have security below your belly button. Then reach the arms up. Bring them down inside of the left foot onto your mat or blocks. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, take a breath in. And then with the breath out, lengthen any amount through the left leg. Let the head fold forward. Twice more, we bend, pull the chest forward. Exhale, lift your hips up and back. Again, inhale, come forward. Exhale, lift up and back. Again, inhale, come forward. And then this time you're gonna pivot to the left, pivot to the right. The left foot will pivot, but you're facing the right side of the mat. Turn the toes out slightly, come up onto your fingertips. And then bend the right knee. The hips are still reaching behind you. Strong in the left leg. And then switch. Left knee bends, reaching through the right leg, letting the hips come backwards. And then again, right knee bends. And then this time you're coming up to a warrior two. Left toes face forward, right foot parallels the back of the mat. Flip your front palm, inhale, reach up and back. Reaching through the fingertips, staying light in the right hand. And then bring the left forearm to the left thigh, reach the right arm down, forward. When it reaches forward, you'll start to rotate the ribcage open. Keep pushing through that back leg. And then use your elbow push down to lift the left side of your waist away from your thigh bone. And then pull the left hip towards your right heel. It's dragging underneath you. And then come back up to a warrior two. Again, inhale, reverse. And then bring the hands down to the mat. You're coming to your side plank. Again, you could scoot this left foot to the middle of the mat. Take your modified version. You could step straight back to a side plank. Push into that bottom arm. Rotate the shoulder back. Then pull the top arm forward. Let's all lower down to our knees. Bring your hips to your heels. Take a child's pose. And then come back because I forgot a big chunk of this. Let's come into a plank from here. And then step the left foot outside of the left hand. Bring the back knee down. Untuck the toes. Let the hips come forward. And then again, you could stay forward. If this feels like enough, just play with wiggling the hips, a mindful kind of fidgeting. You could start to lift the hips up and back if you wanted to bring this a little bit deeper. Coming down onto your forearms. Letting the head go. Pulling the hips back. Keeping the foot anchored. And then lift your chest. Start to come forward once again. You'll bend to the right knee this time, like you're trying to click it in towards your butt. Try not to let the hips lift up with you, keep them low. And you'll reach the left arm forward, palm up. Reach the left arm, big circle. So you could stop here. This is a great place to stay. Keep pulling the heel in towards your butt, keep reaching the hand back. Or you could take hold of the foot. If you've got hold of the foot, kick that foot into your hand. And then reach it back down and around. And now we'll step back to a plank and take a child's pose. A little detour, a little out of order. Take a couple deep breaths here as a way to reset, to recalibrate. And then in the next breath or two, make your way back to a downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Inhale, reach right leg long behind you. Pull the foot forward, step it in between your hands. Bring your back knee down, reach the arms up, grab your elbows, lean back. Then exhale, hands come down inside of the right foot. Tuck your back toes, lift the knee, take a breath in. Breath out, lengthen through the right leg, full forward. Inhale, rebend. This time as you exhale, you'll pivot into Skandasana, bending the left knee. You could keep the hands down or keep them up. And then shift to the front of the mat. And then shift to the back of the mat. And then from here, you're coming forward, warrior two. Flip the palm, reach up and back. Exhale, supported side angle, sweep the arm forward and around. Then reach back up, straight back to reverse warrior. And then this time, bring the right hand down outside of the right foot. Heel toe the left foot in slightly. Left hand comes to hip. I'm not sure you can see me here. Shift forward into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So you'll roll the top hip, the left hip open. You've got your hand here to kind of manually help yourself. Reach to that back heel. Like in your supported side angle, keep pulling the right hip underneath you. And one, and if you're steady, you might reach the top arm up. Then you might try bending the top knee, reaching for your left foot. And then playing once again with pushing the foot into the hand to roll open across the chest. Rolling the left front of the shoulder back. And then carefully release. And then from here, bend the bottom knee. Step back, let's come straight into reverse warrior. Hands come down to frame the front foot. From here, step into your version of the side plank. And if you've got side plank with your feet stacked, you'll lift the top foot, bend the knee, and from here come into rock star or flipped down dog. Then bring the hands back around, step to plank. And then make your way back to a downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the left foot forward, bring your back knee down. Reach your arms up, grab your elbows, lean back. Hands come up, bring them down inside of the left foot. Tuck your back toes, lift the knee, take a breath in. Breath out, lengthen through the front leg, foot forward. Inhale, rebend, chest lifts. Exhale, lengthen through the leg. Pivot into Skandasana, bending the right knee. Hands can be down or at your center. And then push down through your feet, shift to the front of the mat, left knee bends. And then right knee. And then from here to warrior two, maybe it's no hands. Reach up and back, reverse. A supported side angle. Then reach up and back, reverse warrior. And then this time left hand comes down inside of left foot, outside of left foot, maybe to a block for a little bit of support. Right hand can come to hip as the right foot drags in. And then shift forward into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Reaching through the heel, rolling top hip open. And then when you're ready, you could reach the top arm up, keeping that left hip pulling underneath you. And feel free to stay here. If you want to continue working with a back bend, you could bend the right knee. Grabbing hold of the foot, pushing the top of the foot into the hand to help roll the chest open. And lengthen the leg back out, soften through the standing leg. You'll step straight back to reverse warrior. Hands come down. Make your way into a side plank. Shifting the heels to the right if the feet are stacked, reaching up. And then if you're coming again into another back bend, a little modest lift of the top foot. Reach the knee up to flip yourself. And then make your way back to a plank. Bring your knees down to the mat. And then from here, just sit on the heels. Hold the hands in. Let them rest just forward of your hip creases. And then from here, you're going to swing your seat to the left, circle your legs out in front of you. And come onto your back. Just a few back bends, we've done quite a bit. So you should feel pretty warm, but if you're feeling a little too warm, you could always take a restorative bridge and slide a block underneath you. Draw the feet in so they're right underneath the hips. Knees tracking right over the second and third toe. Then press down into your feet. Lift your hips, lift your pelvis. You could interlace your fingers underneath you. For a little more leverage, push the pinky edge of the fist down towards the mat to lift the hips in opposition. And then lower yourself down. Let the hips move side to side. And then we'll take one more. You could come into a full wheel if you're feeling, again, if you're feeling open enough, you'll bring your hands by your ears, fingertips facing towards your heels. Start by pressing up onto the crown of your head, and then push into the legs, lengthen through your arms. Make sure the knees aren't splaying out here. Hug the inner thighs in. And then slowly come back down. Let the knees swipe side to side. And then the next time that the knees fall to the left, let them stay left. And let's bring the arms out to the sides. And you could keep them here if you're liking that picture frame above the head. You could grab elbows here, it's a little extra chest opening. And then you could pick up your left heel. I like to kind of use it as a little kind of hook to pull the right hip forward, like I was gently tugging it out of the hip socket and then down towards the mat. Might not hit the mat, but it's going in that direction. And then bring the feet flat. Switch your knees, switch your elbow grip. If you've got the picture frame, let the knees fall right. And then if you wanted a little extra help, you could pick up the right heel, pull the left hip forward and down. And come back through center. Let the legs get long. Let the arms fall down to your sides. And then if there's anything else that you would like to take to kind of seal off the hour, you could take a happy baby, you could take a headstand, you take legs up the wall. If you're near a wall, you could just let the legs reach up, kind of catch the legs as though they were falling forward for a supported inversion. Making sure to breathe. And then bend your knees if they were up. If you were in an inversion and headstand, take your time coming out of it. And you'll find your counter pose when you're ready. And then we'll come into Shavasana. Whatever version feels restful to you, it doesn't have to look like traditional Shavasana. You could use any props if you've got that blanket. Take any arm variation. Take a seated meditation if that feels better. And let the breath become easy to let go of that capital Y yoga breath. And slowly start to deepen your breathing. Bring some small movement back into your body. And then when you are ready, roll over onto one side and come up to a tall seat. Letting your hands just rest. Relaxing the shoulders, lengthening the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head. And see how you feel. And bring your hands together at your chest. And then we'll close together with a final deep, full breath in. And a breath out. Namaste. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope to see you guys soon, and I hope you check out our other classes. There's some really great people lined up. Have a nice one, guys.